Soul Grows in Israel, a podcast where we ask the questions about ancient Jewish wisdom, modern life, and everything in between. So let's ask, let's have fun, and let's grow together. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Soul Grows in Israel. And today I'm recording straight from Italy with one of my favorite people, Moshe, my 19-year-old buddy. Say hey.
Hi, everybody.
He's my son, in case you guys are out there a little nervous. So we've been together one-on-one from Monday to Monday because there was one flight out.
Yep.
Okay, so tell everyone, how did this come to be? Why are we in Italy together?
Initially, this was supposed to be a trip that was made with both my parents,
Like an anniversary romantic trip.
like an anniversary/birthday type trip.
So one of my sons had this like fall and had surgery and had another surgery. Anyway, the wound wasn't healing as quickly as my husband wanted, right? So Tisha B'Av morning, he's not happy. So he says he's not doing the trip. I try to cancel the trip. So first I emailed the hotels, and this is like, mind you, a couple of days before. No refunds. We booked it on Booking, non-refundable. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's it. We can't go. And that's what happens with the money. To which Dad replied,
Send Moshe.
right, I'm not wasting money.
Yeah,
Go enjoy yourself.
why not?
And I was like, wait, are you sure? I kind of feel bad. I don't want to leave you in the lurch and whatever. And I could see that if I stayed home, it would bother him more. Not just the waste of money, but why shouldn't someone have a good time? And so I feel like that was, in a way, Hashem's way of presenting you, Moshe, with this opportunity that I don't know that we would have done this, like a mother-son
Probably
vacation.
not. Probably not.
Probably not.
Why not?
Oh my God. Okay, so are you sick of me yet?
Not even close. We're traveling again in like a week and a half, and
To Hershey Park.
I'm super excited. So
The family with the family. That's right.
I would never get sick of you, Mom.
Okay, did you get sick of vacation?
Not a vacation in general, but maybe specifically of this location, just because it's more of like mom and dad getaway style.
Too romantic. Too romantic.
Too romantic.
Okay, so let's break it down. So basically, we leave, and there's once a week flights. Okay, we took Israel Air, which is not like a main travel airline. So we had to just take the dates they're giving us, and if it's Monday to Monday, that's what we're gonna do. In reality, we might have done Monday to Thursday, right?
Right, that would have been ideal.
Right, because like Shabbos in these places, oh my gosh, it's a whole.
I think to not be so bad, but
It was. I think you slept all day. You davened and slept.
I slept a lot.
Well, there are a few things that I think that I'm very impressed about on this vacation. I think that sometimes people leave their surroundings and then they leave everything behind, and you really didn't. I mean, maybe it's a given. I'm not sure. Like tefillin every day, kosher packaged food, our tuna fish. Like we're not compromising on our values. We even learned a lot. I just think that when you have those two worlds, like vacation, but also the rules that you want to keep, even if it's not convenient, it makes everything more meaningful.
Yeah, I agree.
First, let me tell you about the whole trip, like where we went, what's going on. So we landed, and when I originally planned it, it was with my husband, who is the responsible driver in this marriage. And we planned to get away from the crowds. ChatGPT, as always, came through and gave us a bunch of alternative like locations, but they were all far. To which my husband was like, no problem. I'm so happy to drive. And it was like a 5-hour drive. The thing is, when we land, it's nighttime. So we decided, why don't we go someplace halfway just for the night and then continue on this road trip down the coast of Italy. So the first night we were in this, I would say, like little cute place. We only spent a few hours there, really. We took a little walk and whatever. But I have to say, when we first got off the plane with our suitcases and we had to find our rental car, and it was all dark and random, like Naples, and we're just like walking ourselves, I did feel like, I don't know if I can do this.
I had that feeling too at the beginning, but I knew it always starts off like that. And, slowly everything started to pick up, and I knew it would be like that.
When did it start picking up for you?
As soon as we got the car rental, basically.
Wait, no, because first then came the twisty roads, and I didn't know where I was. Remember, we're going into toll booths, and I don't know what's going on. I have a few euros, and I'm putting them in the basket.
Yeah, so
I'm
for
going.
the first 10 minutes of the drive
Yeah.
were a little stressful, but once we got onto the highway and the Google Maps locked in, it was
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah, first it was rerouting.
Yeah.
And the most confusing part is when my dad, who really is a worrier, called me at that moment. He's like, hi. I'm like, hey, everything's great. And the toll booth is like snapping down and I'm taking the wrong turn. But thank God we got on our way and we had music. We obviously laughed a lot. We got to this little place. The guy was really grumpy because it was like 1 a.m. And we're like, okay, let's do this. Anyway, The next morning, which was Tuesday morning, we get into the car and now it's daytime and I'm not nervous. We have all day ahead of us and we do the 5-hour drive. And the drive is like beautiful. And Moshe, you were great. You were taking pictures for us. I want to make like a cute vlog of the trip.
Yeah.
And we go through all my favorite music, your favorite music, and you added some of my stuff to your playlist. That's how you know you're winning, because Gen Z is a tough crowd sometimes.
Yeah, but you know I have decent taste in music. It's not that bad.
I like what you're saying. You're saying if I like your music, it means I have good taste in music.
Yeah.
I like that.
Over the years, it's gotten better.
You've evolved.
Yeah.
As have I. So we drive down, and again, you're looking to your right, and you see the water, and it starts to get green. We went on a boating trip. I personally love to get into the ocean and snorkel, so that was beautiful. And coming back, after a full day of activities, and your legs are like jelly. I love that feeling. When you
Yeah.
can't move.
Mm-hmm. That's how you know you had a productive day.
Yeah, definitely. And
it was fun.
it was fun.
Yeah.
And then we get back into the car on Friday. Now, Friday is a bit more stressful because it's a Shabbat. It's like Shabbos deadline. It doesn't wait for anyone. So, we kept on trucking and we drive back up north. But I mean, the water was glistening. It was so pretty. We had more music, a lot of phone calls with everyone back in New York, back in Israel, and not even one podcast, which is so strange for me.
Not for me.
I know. You don't even download anything for the plane. You just want to listen to music the whole time.
Yeah, it's not such a long flight, so I don't mind just listening to music and looking out the window and stuff like that. I don't need to always.
Like distract yourself.
Yeah.
I like that. You're very present.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, the reason we chose this place was it was close to this woman who does kosher catering to whatever hotel you're staying in. And it was like a certain kind of distance that she would deliver to. And the hotel's great, but Friday night comes and it was actually really nice. I was outside and I'm davening and I heard you singing L'Chadodi, and we came inside and we sang together. It was really, really sweet. And then we sat down and we had all these instructions, how to warm it beforehand and the thing of the double wrap. Anyway, they bring it to us and there's like 4 waiters with like a special table and they start opening every single package and spooning our Shabbos spoon into, oh my gosh, it was a lot of attention. And we just were like, no, we got this. We should have had this in our room. And it was a bit uncomfortable. And then I started thinking, wait, do they really like us now that they know we're Jewish? Do they still like us? And I'm starting to be like overly observant and I don't want that energy.
Doesn't really matter. Who cares?
Yeah. Why do I care? I know, but you have to be like, when you're identified as a Jewish person, I had this huge responsibility. Not that I'm ever rude. I really hope not. I want that to be extra polite and extra accommodating and not to drive people crazy because people already have assumptions of who we are. And I think that we need to carry our Judaism with grace. Pride, but with grace. Not to be embarrassed of it, but
I think we're doing a good job.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And it's kind of this idea of your generation meeting mine on this vacation, but also Israel meeting America in a way, because I think that it's different. I think that my whole life, as a Jewish person living in Chutz La'aretz, living overseas in a country that's not yours, you have this thing where you either want to just quietly blend in, don't bring attention to yourself, don't bring danger upon yourself. And I think Israeli kids have a very different take on it.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I feel like you're like, whatever, like speaking Hebrew in the streets with your friends or on the phone, or I'm not saying to be careless, but I do think that you guys don't know what it's like maybe to have to hide something. And I love that.
I hear what you're saying. It's I also feel that it's good, but sometimes pay a little bit more attention in case you could possibly get yourself in a bad case scenario.
Okay, here was a sweet moment. You kept saying the entire trip, I just want to hear Hebrew, Mom, especially after 2 days passed. You're like starving for Hebrew. And I'm like, you're not going to hear it. We're in a really remote place. Anyway, I drag you down to the gym, which wasn't really a gym. It was like an unair conditioned little room. The hotel was too fancy to have a gym, you guys. I can't explain it. Anyways, no cereal, it was just whatever.
Yeah.
So we go downstairs and it's like this little parquet floored room with a few weights, which I was grateful for, and like nicely designed yoga mats, but that's it. And it was hot. And
It was enough.
it was fine. All right. And we're doing our thing. And then I heard someone pass by and he looked like a real Italian. And for some reason I said, Moshe, did that guy just speak Hebrew?
At the beginning, I couldn't hear what he was saying. I had AirPods in, whatever. I was listening to music. So I decided they went right outside to where we were working out. There's like a little balcony. So I decided to go see if what my mom was saying was true. Sure enough, I walk out, make believe I'm looking at the view, and I hear this guy speaking in Hebrew to like one of his friends back in Israel, which was very cool. I went over to him and started talking to him, and yeah, turns out he's like an Israeli guy, lives in LA, came with his wife who's Italian to the hotel.
His eyes were smiling when you approached him. And so were yours.
Yeah, it was
a moment.
satisfying
It was really nice.
to speak to an Israeli. Yeah.
Yeah, and right away you feel, like, connected, like, "Oh, there's my brother." As I think we should all feel as Jewish people.
All of our conversations reach a dead end 'cause I don't know what to say. You want me to speak like I speak to you?
Yeah.
No, it's not chill. I have to say chill a bunch of times.
I've never heard the word chill used more in my entire life. It's chill. I think that's chill. It's probably chill, not chill. Oh, that's chill. Guys out there, do you all have children who say chill all the time, or is it just me? What's going on? Is it a thing?
It's not really a thing.
Wait, do you just only you say it?
Not just to me, but it's like a private joke. So
Wait,
with a
with like 6 people.
yeah, kind
Mhm.
of with a bunch of my friends. Yeah.
So I noticed that you guys don't really talk.
What?
Yeah, like you'll say something like, "Oh, achi," like my brother, probably chill. Yeah, that's so chill. And there's no conversation happening, but somehow you understand each other.
It's basically the whole joke.
That you're not talking?
I feel like it's gonna be like 5 minutes long. This podcast.
What if I don't edit anything?
You want to put it out like this?
Like, why not?
All right. Like
Someone's kissing it
that could
like,
be
"That's
chill.
chill."
That could be chill.
So there are a bunch of words I need to ask about the Gen Z.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, I mean, I guess chill is the main word that we're dealing with, but it's not Gen Z. It's just Moshe.
Yeah. Moshe, Mike, Jake, Noam, and then a bunch of
It's like a niche word.
yeah.
What does mud mean?
Oh. Um, my mom asked me what the word mud means when you say, "What's up, mud?" So generally, I think that's a New York term referring to someone who has been with you since the mud, basically since your lowest point, and is still with you. You call them mud. So it's like, "What's up?"
Wait, in your lowest point or like from the beginning? Not like
Either the beginning or the lowest point, basically the mud, like the bottom. So
where it's muddy.
yeah, I guess you could say muddy too.
You could say, "What's up, muddy?"
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start calling your
I
dad
don't,
muddy.
I don't really say that. I just hear it in some
I
songs.
never heard you say it. Oh, it's like a rapper type of thing.
Yeah, basically.
If there was no rap, would there be this much lingo?
Probably not, to be honest. No.
It's-
I don't think so.
So we give them credit.
Well, I mean, we're from New York, so maybe I would have heard that from one of my other friends.
You're
But
kind of from Renana, so relax.
yeah, that's true. I was born there. I don't know.
I mean, Muncie. It's like the mean streets, like lawns and raccoons. But okay, fair enough.
Yeah, let's just say I'm from Manhattan.
No, but the army looms for kids your age. So there is this, I think, grit or toughness that whether you've gotten there or you get there after the army, that does exist, like a real, in a good way, like a real masculinity.
Well, I haven't experienced that yet because I haven't drafted yet, but I hear what you're saying. Maybe afterwards I'd be a little different.
Yeah, or maybe knowing that it's coming. Does that change
Yeah,
how you?
I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah, subconsciously. Even when the army becomes part of most Israeli guys' life, you do the army, you come out and you have to live your whole life after. So just because you saw something or experienced something in the army that
Mhm.
you think would affect you, and it might, doesn't mean it has to carry on your whole life after.
Yeah,
And
but it probably does,
it
and not in a bad way.
it can, but it like depends what you've seen. I guess everyone goes through Tiwanut, and everyone it's hard on everyone, but
What's Tiranu training?
Tiwanut is basic training.
Is that the hardest part?
Some would say, yeah. Depends
Depends on your dad.
yeah, depends where you are in the army.
Yeah,
Once I'm in the army, I could give you more information, but
yeah, we're gonna have to have you on
yeah,
as a repeat guest.
give it a year.
Okay. Well, you think you'll be in the army in a year?
Nice.
Crazy. Okay, Bezrat Hashem. All of you guys should be safe. Are there any expressions that you see from my generations that are just like they sound like wonky to you? Like my mom used to say groovy, and I just could not handle it.
Um,
Good.
not that I can think of right now, but there were probably moments where I was like, "What did you just say?"
Yeah, I feel like.
The fact that I can't think of any right now.
I mean, I'm obviously so cool.
That's chill.
I got some questions for you. All right, Mosh?
Yeah.
Okay, first question I want to ask you is what's the deal with teenagers and vapes? Is it still a thing? It was always, to me, it was kind of douchey, but no offense out there, you guys. You do you. But what's the deal?
Okay, so as someone who went through that phase, I could tell you right now that it's past its prime. I remember I would say 3 years ago or 4 years ago, it was very popular. Um, in like every class, there was between 5 and 10 kids, which would be around 50% of the kids who
0?
I would say it depends which class and what school you go to,
Mhm.
but I'm talking about from my school.
Yeah.
Um, I would say the year above mine, the year below mine, and my year, I would say was around between 40 to 50% of kids who either had one or shared one or used one. Um,
And it was cool.
it was, I thought so. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I had fun. I stopped really vaping around a year and a half ago, kind of towards the end of 12th grade, but still here and there, if my friend had one, I'd maybe take a hit. And then I started realizing that it was affecting like the way I play soccer, let's just say. Just as an example, I could run for less time and I could notice it. And then I told myself that it was like getting excessive and that I really need to stop. So I haven't really smoked a vape in around 7 or 8 months. And I can tell you right now, I feel better. I can really feel it. But also I've seen a pretty big decrease in vape usage among teenagers just on the street. It used to be like every 14, 15-year-old, 16-year-old had one. Just when I walked up and down a Khuzer, it's mostly cigarettes. I don't see a lot of vapes.
And was it an Israel America divide, or it was just from you go to summer camp with Americans, so you could really
I would say Americans were way more into it than Israelis. Israel has always been more of a cigarette country rather than vapes.
great.
It's different.
I remember when we went skiing with our family, and I just smelled this raspberry scent coming from under the door, and I lost it. First of all, the smell was horrible. Okay,
It smelled that bad.
it smelled like sweet rotten
It
raspberry,
smelled like medicine.
but like an exhale of it. Oh, so you think it's going out of style? It's out of okay,
I would say so, yeah.
okay. Another Gen Z question, please.
Okay.
So when we were younger, when I was younger, the cool thing was, as crazy as this sound, was like this one Jewish chat room on AOL. It was what's a chat room exactly? So you basically you'd get this free disc in the mail that would say 24 hours of America Online, AOL for free, which was the internet basically. And then there was a Jewish chat room and everyone would talk. And that was like the coolest thing. Moving on, it became a bunch of other things, maybe LinkedIn, then Facebook, then Instagram, then Snapchat.
Facebook?
Facebook was a thing, then Instagram, I feel.
Viber.
Viber. That was for the yeah.
Joshua in your Bible.
Yeah.
En het telefoon, Shelly.
Yeah, cleaning ladies had their thing. So my question is basically, what is cool now? Like Snapchat's not still a thing, right?
Not really, no.
Is TikTok?
Yeah.
It's still going.
TikTok isn't used to really conversate with other people like Snapchat is or Facebook is. It's more like just to see video, like
Right.
just like YouTube, I would say.
Why? And you use Snapchat like a WhatsApp situation?
Yeah, mostly I use Snapchat with my American friends who don't use WhatsApp like Israelis do.
Right. What's the deal? People say that all the time. Like we never iMessage or text message, and it's all you just WhatsApp.
Yeah. WhatsApp is definitely the most used not social media.
So what's the cool thing? What are the kids doing, Moshe?
In Israel,
Yeah.
it's mostly soccer, to be honest.
That's so nice.
Yeah, it's like, are you talking about like phone related or?
If I told you you had to delete one of your social media apps, which would be the hardest for you to
Oh,
delete?
the hardest? Probably Instagram.
Really?
No, maybe TikTok even. I don't know.
You like Instagram? You like the reels or you like communicating?
So both. So you have WhatsApp, which is, you know, basically only used for communicating, and then you have TikTok, mostly used for entertainment.
Oh.
And then you have Instagram, which is a blend of both of those. So I would say that would be Instagram.
Yeah, and Instagram is also for like my generation.
You would think so, but I don't know if that's true.
I send you reels.
Yeah, but most moms don't send their kids reels.
How
So.
cool is this mom? Like this is what we're realizing. No answer. Okay.
No, you're cool. I
Oh,
promise.
sorry.
I promise.
Okay. What would you tell parents that are concerned with either their teenagers vaping or overuse of things like TikTok, Snapchat? Would you tell them to like relax or really be on top of it? From your perspective, I know you're not a parenting specialist.
At the end of the day, I'm speaking from experience when I say that um when it comes to phone usage or smoking and stuff like that, my parents were pretty on top of me and I still easily found ways to
Mm,
do it when I wasn't home and stuff like that. So
nice.
I mean, I think I'm speaking for a lot of teenagers when I say that like it's kind of hard to prevent your kid from doing stuff like this. Maybe with the phone it's easier, but you know, your son could be leaving the house and smoking and you would never know.
Right.
You know? I don't know, intimidating them enough would help, but
But then you also risk losing the honesty or the relationship. It's like
yeah.
there's no real winning.
If the kid really wants to do it, he'll find a way to do it, and maybe the right way to go around it is what you guys started doing with me after a while, which is, you know, giving more like advice rather than
Freaking out.
strict rules, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. I
which was
hear you.
better, I think.
Well, you can see it. You don't have your own kids yet, but you do have younger siblings. And notice that you keep saying, boys. Are girls less likely, in your experience, to try a vape or act rebellious from what you see in your life?
So in my life, from whatever I see, it depends on what environment the girls are in. I think I could be very wrong, and I probably am just because I'm not a girl. I wouldn't say they're less likely, but obviously it depends on the girl,
So it's
if
not
that makes
gender based.
sense.
Yeah, yeah. You
I,
think it depends on the person.
it depends on the person, but I think more boys will end up smoking than girls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But girls would be doing the same thing in, you know, in different regards. They would
Yeah.
they would be rebelling in, I guess, different ways. But I'm not a girl, so
Right.
I wouldn't know.
And you're lucky because you don't like alcohol and you don't like
Yeah.
that feeling. That worries me. The idea of drinking or, God forbid, driving or acting recklessly. Like, I'm glad that naturally you and your older brother, and it just wasn't tempting to you, maybe. But do you have friends that you worry for sometimes with that stuff?
Thankfully, not close friends, but I do know people who drink a lot, and I don't know. I think at my age, they're a little bit more responsible with it. But maybe 2 3 years ago, I saw some people, some of my friends, or not my close friends, but again, friends of mine drinking that, you know,
Yeah.
it was kind of rough to see, like, they were on the floor on the streets and stuff like that. It was, yeah.
It is hard.
I've seen that, but thankfully none of my close friends though.
That is really hard. I'm glad I didn't see it either because then I never know, do I have a responsibility to quickly call the mom? I think I do. And that's a really tough spot for the kid to be into if your mom like had to snitch on your friend and whatever. But I guess safety trumps everything, you know?
Well, yeah, but it's never been any of my close
No,
friends.
I've never been put in that position for real. There was one discussion though we did have where I said,
Me and you?
yeah, where I told you, and I thought this was really smart. Someone told me to say this because they're a mom of girls. Anyway, I came over to you and I said, if you're ever with girls that are drinking, and I know you're not, you should probably remove yourself from the situation because things can happen or accusations can fly your way. And you don't want to be in a messy situation where you don't trust the person you're next to. Forget about trusting yourself, which you could because you're sober and you're in public and everything's on the up and up. But if someone near you is acting recklessly, I would bow out.
So it happens to be that a few times I was in a house party or something like that, or like a masibat gius, or
MC Beck News, just for everyone who's listening, is before the army. They have a party for the guy who's about to sign up. Okay.
yeah, and maybe it was even like just like a hangout or something like that where there were some drunk female individuals, but for the most part they just get really annoying, so I just don't really engage in conversation with them at all.
It's not even interesting.
It's not even interesting to be around someone like that. Personally, I find the most attractive girls are the ones that, you know, don't do any of this drinking and clubbing and partying and stuff like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And also then you know that you can rely on the person near you. And I think that's important for a relationship.
It's just that they want to have fun, and I understand it. It's just not my type of chill.
It's not your version of fun. So like I would rather be in pajamas.
Well,
For real.
I like to be at like just like a chill hangout at one of my friends' houses or something
Yes.
like that.
And everyone's just talking.
Yeah, everyone's
How
talking. Yeah, I mean, I do see. I've been at like a couple parties in my life, and I do see how that could be fun. It's just that I'd rather um have more of a chill
saying, because it's chill.
because it's just mad chill. Yeah. So coming off this topic of smoking, I had a question for you, Mom.
Yes.
What's it like as a parent, you know, to hear from someone or to get a phone call from your kid's school, you know, saying that your kid is smoking a vape or they were caught smoking a cigarette outside? Does it feel to you that you failed as a parent, or does it feel like it's natural for the teenager to do that? Or
Oh, it's a really good question. I would imagine it's like exactly those mixes. It depends how healthy I am at the moment or at that time. Because if I'm coming from a place that's maybe more insecure or less healthy, my first feeling would be shame, like I'm embarrassed. And then I would be like, what did I do wrong? And it would turn into a thing that was all about me. And it wouldn't come off well. If I was in a really good place, and there are in betweens, but if I was in a really good place, it would be like, how can I use this as sort of an educational moment? Like, maybe this is an opportunity. I also believe, again, when I'm leaving my ego aside and I'm acting in a stable way, I feel like, oh, okay, so they are 17. I much prefer this than a midlife crisis when they have 4 kids at home. I don't know if it's either or. It's just something that goes through my head.
So do you think it's maybe the difference in cultures, you know, from where we come from or where you are now? Because I know maybe in Brooklyn or, from where you come from, the Haredi, the Hasidic world, it's maybe
No, yeah, like it's a bit more judgmental maybe, and everything on the outside counts more. And I think, yeah, you're right. In Israel, maybe you'll see a guy with, I don't know, a bracelet who davens 3 times a day. It's like it's a different thing. It's a different thing. Yeah, I had to recalibrate. I had to, me and dad had to really adjust and say, oh, we chose this community, we chose this country, and thank God we did because the pros way, way outweigh what we're talking about. But wherever you move and live, you have to adapt to the culture to a point. With that said, I'll always have our family's red lines, but I do hope that they're educated red lines and they're not based on total nonsense. And I don't think that they are, but I think that there were times in my life where they were more frivolous or less substantial than they should have been.
right. But going back to what you said about the pros outweighing the cons, it's really hard to think like that. I would guess when you get a phone call from, your son's schools, no?
Yeah. No.
Obviously, it's easy to say that now that, okay, it's,
Yeah.
the pros outweigh the cons
Yeah.
and it's whatever, it's not a big deal. But in the moment, I'm sure it's an annoying phone call to get and it would make me angry too.
But for sure. I don't know if that it would be different if I was living in Muncie or the Five Towns or Brooklyn. Like maybe kids would still sort of want to push boundaries or rebel, or maybe not. Maybe it's a different way of rebel. I don't know. Um, but again, I think that it's not like I'm in a good place or I'm in a bad place. I think it's all mixed together. Imagine a challenge of positive like behavior and negative behavior, and that's how we parent. The good news is we can backstep and I can first, hopefully not in a horrible way, but I can sort of like let it rip. I hope I can walk things back and I hope I never cut deep or it gets like toxic. But yeah, we're going to be parents that are learning on the job for sure. So I think my reactions would be mixed. It would be like not great, but also really good.
I don't know about really good, but maybe
Wait, not
more,
really
more,
good.
more like acceptable.
Why? What would be a really good reaction that I don't have yet?
To getting a phone call like that,
Hmm. Like, what's the best case scenario if you had like parent of the year? How would they react to that kind of phone call?
probably do what at some point you started doing with me, where instead of being so close-minded about it, it's more like be smart about it. Maybe not there, time and place,
Yeah,
stuff like
follow
that.
the rules. If you're subscribing to a certain camp or school and they have a list of rules, the same thing with getting a job or marriage or whatever, sign on the dotted line, but make sure that that's the school you're going to and you're going to follow those rules. I don't like that other idea. Like if you went to a certain school, whether you agree with the values or not, you chose that school, you know?
Well, there's no schools where that's allowed, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Maybe there's
I think that there's a place also for natural consequences,
right. Of course, right.
you know? Like, oh, I did this because this might have affected my reputation. I'm going to feel the effects and the aftermath of it. My mom or dad didn't have to punish me. I have to live with what I just created. That's like a natural consequence, you know?
Mhm.
I'll give you an example. It's dark though, so but like, you always read in the Torah that when there was Sinas Chinam or when Jews weren't behaving nicely with each other, there was destruction. We would lose wars or there would be a Horban. And you'd say, wait, is that a punishment? But really, I think we've seen it's a natural consequence that Hashem put into the world because we see what happens when we protest each other or fight and it's made public. The enemy realizes that we're weak and not unified and they pounce on us. So you might want to look at it as this nice sort of punishment, but in reality, it's built into the natural world. The consequence of disunity is losing war and losing lives. You hear what I'm saying about a natural consequence?
Yeah, of course, I hear what you're saying. I do agree that you strike when you see weakness from the other side. Um, I don't know how the other side could really see.
They were reading it in the papers. It was in the news. They saw people like not being nice about Yom Kippur davenings. They saw things. Um, Specifically with our people, we need to be together, and that's our secret superpower.
Yeah, I agree. Just like the Torah giving at Har Sinai was only be able to be done once all of Bnei Israel were in one place. All the neshamot, all the people. It could have been given to Avraham Avinu. He was the most kadosh person up until then, but it wasn't. It was given to a group of people who weren't sure about themselves, who were wandering the desert, you know.
Yeah.
And that shows that we're the best, and we get the best when we're all together.
And Shem, right. Yesh echad b'lev echad, 100%. It's really profound. And it goes back to what I was saying before that, when you are raising kids, I do believe prayer, but I also believe shalom bayit. And the reason I say that is also, it's not this metaphysical miracle, it's natural consequence, because if you know that your parents are treating each other with respect, it'll be hard to disrespect them if the language in your home has been respectful, number one. Like, you might not even have the words, but if, God forbid, you see people going below the belt, you have that vocabulary in your pocket, or you're looking down at one parent for disparaging the other. It opens up the window, I think, for more machloket and toxic behavior, And I think that if, as parents, we're together, also, you have no second opinion for the most part. I mean, sometimes you could say, Mom, I want to talk to you about this. Can you not tell Dad? And I'm down, or vice versa. But for the most part, that when it comes to the big things, we're a team, and there's not so much wiggle room on that stuff. And I think I could imagine, I never had that growing up, but isn't that a very stable, safe feeling, even if you disagree with the rule being given?
I agree with you, but
So you could say,
I say,
let's just say you disagree with the rule,
okay.
but there's like wisdom in it, and there's no budging. There's no sneaking around it. Like, this is the rule. It's different than if one parent was yelling about it and the other parent was like, don't listen to him.
Right. Well, obviously, I trust my parents. And as you grow up more, you start to realize that they want the best for you, and they're not just doing stuff to annoy you. But of course, it helps to see that there's no fighting going on, yelling, one of them saying something and the other person verbally disagreeing. I could see how that would make it harder to follow, or
And confusing.
or harder to abide by.
Yeah. And sometimes you even know, like, let's just say we don't agree 100%,
Right.
but we have each other's backs. I think that's also nice. And not that there's never any fighting or disagreements. It's just a relationship, hopefully, of respect. I think that's good enough.
Yeah, as long as that's clearly there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you, because this is a conversation I have with a lot of people. And I think I've even had that on specific interviews here on this podcast, where I wondered out loud if I go too far by really keeping my children away from arguments between me and my spouse. Like, and then my friends sometimes push back and say it's very healthy for parents to disagree and then make up after. It's part of life. And I'm like, yeah, but you guys know, if like me and Dad are like irritated by each other, but I don't think you guys have ever seen like a fight. And maybe it's just my way, or maybe I am overdoing something. I was curious if you had any insight about that.
So I will say this: up until, I want to say, 2-3 years ago, I've never seen you and Dad disagree about anything. Maybe that was just because I was a kid and I was oblivious to what was going on around me, or whatever. I just wasn't fully aware or paying attention. I would say, 90% of the time, I would even go, as far to say 95% of the time, you and Dad are not visibly arguing or fighting, and I think that really helps the upbringing of a family. Both the main role models are
Compromising or disagreeing
compromised.
respectfully.
Yeah, yelling, it creates a sense of, so it creates a feeling of imbalance, for the kids, for the friends of the family, for everybody, but especially for the kids who see that their parents are not cooperative.
Yeah. I could also see the argument, though, like, of couples that are disagreeing and making up. That's also like conflict resolution. I could see that being healthy too. But I guess every marriage and every relationship and every family has its own language and dynamic. And you kind of hopefully refine it and do the best you can with the tools that you have, right? So if someone is very, very quick to anger, they might have a hotter temper So for them, it's much, much harder. And for me, it would be the opposite. Like I have a harder time maybe speaking up if I'm feeling disrespected. And that's also really important. So we all have our jobs, but hopefully it doesn't get ugly. I think that's the point.
Yeah, I agree on that.
All right, Moshe, we have a flight tomorrow. And it's been such a bonding experience. I loved laughing hysterically with you about absolutely nothing. It was the best.
Sure.
Yeah, but we did that at home, I hope, too. And thanks for coming on this podcast and teaching us about Gen Z and your perspective. And I really like your view on life in general.
Well, thank you. It was fun. I'm happy I was able to help you understand some things about,
The
like
mysteries of Gen
yeah,
Z.
I guess if it's that interesting to you, I'll be on again.
Yes, you will. And guys, thanks for listening.
Peace.
Peace in the streets and in the Middle East.
I could be chill.
Hi again. If you like what you're hearing, if something that you heard in today's conversation really resonated with you or made you laugh or made you think, I'd love to hear more. So please feel free to leave a comment, DM me on Instagram, or even better, leave a comment on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or even YouTube. Let's make this community grow together.